Hi and welcome to another video. I'm Lauren and on this channel I make lots of different kinds of art, and right now I'm exploring paper collage, which is done using magazine images. There is so much potential in paper collage and it's just so fun to create. Just looking for the images themselves, looking for colored backgrounds, looking for words. And yeah, today I'm going to be making some miniature paper collages which are done on little papers this size. They are 5 by 7 centimeters, and I have one video out already where I made 7 of these miniature paper collages, so definitely check that out. And today I'm going to continue with another 7 little miniature paper collages. So I'll show you my process today. I'm really excited to get into this video. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get paper collaging. So the two main things you need to create a paper collage is your glue stick as well as a pair of scissors. It's also really important to have lots of varieties of magazines to draw all your pictures from. So I've been collecting lots and lots of pictures. So these are the pictures for this week. Lots and lots of images. Woo! There are just so many, and yeah, I'm going to be making them on these little paper collages. The first one is going to be leaf, and it's going to be on this purple paper. So I'm going to go through and find all of my images related to leaf. These are all the images that I found for leaf. So I'm thinking that I'm going to cut this one to put in the background because that is the biggest image. So I'm going to cut off a little bit so that it will fit onto the paper. So I think that is going to go down as my background. And I'm going to definitely leave some of this purple border showing. There were honestly so many pictures in the magazines of leaves, so it was like hard to control myself and not cut them all out. But I think I got like a nice good variety, and we'll see how we can make it work on this tiny little piece of paper. So that's gonna go down there. Then I've got also this grass, which I think will be nice just in the foreground, probably like that. And I love all the greens here. There's so much greenery. I think green is definitely one of my favorite colors. So it's just so nice to make a little artwork with all of these colors as well. So vibrant. Then I think that I definitely want to bring in these little yeah, that would be nice kind of coming from the top there. Sort of like a palm leaf, I guess, something like that. So I'm going to bring that in on the top. Most of my pictures I've already gone and cut around the shapes because that just helps make the collaging today a little bit faster. But you can also do that while you're busy creating the collage. So far we have this vibe. And then I'm just going to cut off these extra bits. Then I also have this little butterfly, which is really cute. I want to bring that in and maybe have the apple just kind of coming in over here because that's got a lovely leaf on it. So I'll stick that in there. And then I also, yeah, I don't know if I will use any of these others. Maybe that's too many. But now I'm going to put the word over here. So I've got a little word saying leaf that I also found in one of the magazines. This took me a long time to find all of the text for these little collages, but yeah, so that is for leaf. The next prompt is rope, and I'm doing it on this tiny little paper. And these are the images that I found that I could think of that would go well for rope. Luckily, I did manage to find an actual picture of sort of like a rope. And then this reminded me a lot of like just the texture of rope, so I'm going to use this in my background. And yeah, let's get started. Then my idea for this paper collage is kind of just creating like a little scene with this dog and the hammock, and kind of like in a garden, because normally the hammocks have rope that sort of hang them up, so that's sort of what I'm thinking with that. I don't know how I'm gonna bring these in. Let's just play around with the arrangement here. I'm probably gonna have this in the background, have a bit of a garden scene, and yeah, I really don't know how I'm gonna do this. I want to have the dog sitting on this, but then we need to bring the rope in here somehow. So let's see. He's such a cute little dog. So I think I'll bring it in something like that, maybe just connecting. But yeah, you can't even see the back, so let's see how I can better arrange this. So that's going to be hopefully a little bit visible. And then the hammock. Okay, so something like that I think will work. Can just see the hammock. It's not super visible, but that's okay. And then we'll put this here, kind of like dogs like rope. So they have to play with rope at least, so that'll sort of make sense in the corner there. And then I've got the word rope, but I do want to cut this a tiny bit smaller. Next up is the prompt critter. So I actually have a lot of images for this. I don't know how it's gonna all fit on, but we're gonna do the best. And yeah, I was really excited to find like this picture of the cat and a couple of little bugs and beetles. And then I have this like rat looking kind of thing. So yeah, let's see how to get this all together. I think that I want to have it kind of be like a bit of a street scene with a little bit of flowers and grass and stuff, so that the bugs are kind of like hiding in that. So I think I want to put half of the picture to be this, which will kind of represent concrete on the ground. Then I do want a bit of sky kind of poking out the top, so that is going to be there. Okay, somewhere here. Alright, then I do want to have like a little bit of a wall with maybe this cat poking over the wall, kind of looking at the critters. I don't know if that's gonna work, but yeah, something like that, I think. So I want to use like this has got these nice cracked like wall, kind of like on a pavement, like next to a pavement. So I want to have that be over here somewhere. Then how to best do this? Yeah, so the cats will just be poking a little bit over the wall here. Trying to also get the size of everything right. So I guess it makes sense. The cat is so big, and then all the little insects are going to be like really small, all the little critters. Then I want to bring in like grass next to the pavement. So I'm going to have to cut bits of grass because we need space to put all of the little insects. So something like that. Now I definitely want to fit in this little mouse somewhere. Also have this log. Don't know how to get that in. Maybe the mouse will be getting out somewhere. Where do I put this? Yeah, maybe the mouse will be over here. Okay, so I'm only going to have like a tiny bit of this wood. So the mouse is kind of like poking out of behind the wood, I guess. There we go. Then, let's see, I really... Oh, I'd love to fit in this magnifying glass somehow. But I do not know how it's... it's not going to work. I think I might have to give the magnifying glass a skip. Okay, so then we want to have these little critters, other little insects as well. This is what I really love, is it's just like creating this whole little fun scene and figuring out how everything's gonna fit into this whole scenario on this tiny piece of paper. It's a whole process, but it's so much fun. And I think that is how we're gonna have to leave it, because I don't know how anything else is gonna fit. This is everything I have for the next prompt, which is seagull, and it's on this beautiful bright yellow little mini paper. And yeah, I'm really excited to create this one. So I'm gonna have to be really creative with this. I think what I'm gonna do is cut out these waves, because I want to put this like separate in the front somehow, and then have some sky at the back. So I think this will go here. Then I also want to have some of this cliff face, but I don't want all of the white. So I'm going to cut it out and have that be probably like that in the background. So whenever I'm making the paper collages, I'm always thinking like, how am I going to work out the layers to get the picture to look how I want. So sometimes you do have to sort of like, yeah, really play around with your placements. And then I want the water to come in somewhere here, but cover that. So something like that will probably work. So sort of the waves and the cliff in the background. Then I want to bring in the seagull somehow. Or maybe, oh, that's a bit idea. I think I'll lose this top wing over here. So that'll give a little bit more space for some other things. So the seagull will come in there. When you're doing a collage on bigger paper, there's obviously more room to play, but with these small pieces, you really have to try to work out how it is gonna all fit. Sometimes not everything does fit. And then I have these little penguins that I would love to fit on here as well, because they're so cute. Look, I'll just put two of them. They'll be in the corner there. And yeah, I think that is probably going to be it for this collage. So then I'll get my heading on here somewhere, seagull. This is everything I've got for the next prompt, which is bark, and it is on this purple piece of paper. So I really want to have the sun kind of coming through in the background. So I think that is going to be over here. Then I want to get a bit of greenery in the background here. So there is this, which is all sorts of like bushes. That'll make the background look pretty cool. Then definitely I found this beautiful piece of wood, but I don't actually know how. Maybe I will just use a little bit of it over here, and then I will use the other paper So we'll have the bark be at the bottom. So that's going to be there. Then I'd like to have this woman sitting over here and have this kind of like growing out of her, if that makes sense. So she's sort of like meditating by the tree, because trees and nature are just so relaxing. So I definitely want to highlight that with this collage. So we'll put this down. Okay, then there is a little bit more space. I don't know if I should add in this other tree. Okay, and then I want to have this like plus sign, so we're like, yes, we love forests, so plant more trees, please. Next up, the prompt is marble. So I've got all of these things which I'm going to try and arrange. I couldn't find any pictures of marble, but I thought this gray could kind of like represent, I'm thinking of like a marble worktop in a kitchen or something along those lines. So I want to have this wall be somewhere in the background of this picture, and then maybe have like a countertop over here somehow, and then on the counter I want to have some of these little things. So this one I really need to play around with the layout to get it something like that. Maybe it will work. Next up, the last little miniature paper collage for today is the prompt brush. So I've got this green paper and I found all of these cool little images that make me think of painting. So I want to have them just kind of going wild in the background, and then some of the images of the brush in the front. So this is a nice brush stroke. And then we've got this big one up here, so that can go maybe across the top there. I like those colors, the pink and the purple. Nice and vibrant against the green. And I think that's probably where I'll leave it, and I'll do the text somewhere at the bottom here. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me for these little miniature paper collages. They were so much fun to make, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the process and got some creative ideas yourself. So if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another video.